you're like me, when you go to the produce section of your favorite grocery store, you automatically go to your favorite fruits and vegetables first. But inevitably, there's always one vegetable that never makes it into my cart at least. It's the Brussels sprout. But these days, thanks to some determined farmers and chefs, the Brussels sprout is getting a makeover that might just make you give them a second chance. You might say, just like Rodney Dangerfield, Brussels sprouts get no respect. The California Department of Food and Agriculture doesn't even list them in its annual crop report, and if this state doesn't acknowledge them, no state will, because California is the only real significant producer of Brussels sprouts. And whether you love them or hate them, it seems like everyone has an opinion on them, one way or the other.
I love them. I think they're great.
I hate Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts. Always have.
I hate them. I definitely dislike them. I go to P.F. Chang's, the family and I, often, and I order shrimp fried rice. And when it comes out with the Brussels sprouts in, I'd say, take the roots out. I can't stand it. No, I don't see the significance of it.
Yeah, we've had quite a few people ask about it. It's one of those things that, it's one of those vegetables that either you love them or you don't like them. It's kind of a black or white kind of thing, but people that do like them, they buy them, and they like them fresh, and they're very good.
While opinions may vary, for many shoppers, Brussels sprouts still remain an enigma. A vegetable that may look interesting, but not quite interesting enough to try.
Hey folks, have you tried Brussels sprouts lately? Have you given them a try? No, look at these. Have you guys tried these Brussels sprouts lately? How do you cook them, sir?
I don't.
And if prepared properly, they're very, very tasty, and it takes a little bit of practice or a chef or some expertise to really bring out the flavor in some of them.
Bringing out the taste of Brussels sprouts is exactly what Chef Ted Walter of Passion Fish Restaurant in Pacific Grove has been doing for the last 10 years. Located on the coast near Monterey, the restaurant offers a unique California dining experience with an ever-changing menu of the freshest produce in town. And believe it or not, Chef Ted is undaunted by the negative connotations Brussels sprouts seem to elicit from diners. Instead, he's intent on making believers out of people like me who normally wouldn't touch the things.
When we hear that, we love that. So, oh, well, you need to try it. And we send out a salad, and almost all the time they'll say, oh my God, I love that. I've never had Brussels sprouts like that. So we just needed to prepare it in a way that they like it. And that's what we like to do here. And so it's a lot of fun. We love to turn people around with different food items that they don't think they like. How you doing tonight?
Good, good. What do we got?
We have some Brussels sprouts. I understand you've never had Brussels sprouts before. Well, here they are, and we have it prepared in our special salad, and it's with core Buddha ham, black grapes with a mustard vinaigrette, and ricotta salted cheese. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Can't go wrong with cheese.
That's right. You want to cook them somewhere between where you just got past the raw stage, and then you want to stop. And it doesn't release the odor that is associated with cabbage.
One of the few vegetables to originate from Northern Europe, Brussels sprouts get their name from being cultivated near the Belgian capital in the late 16th century. After World War I, cultivation grew and spread to the United States, with the central coastal area of California being one of the hotbeds for it. Today, this is where you'll find the Rodoni family farming the cabbage's little cousin.
How do they look? Good? Better than Grandpa's? Yeah.
Now in their third generation of farming, it is a true family affair, with both Steve, his brother, his dad, and even his kids farming more than 600 acres of Brussels sprouts in the Moss Landing area near Monterey.
You can see here as they grow in a spiral and rings coming up, the spirals defined. They tend to mature quicker on the bottom than the top. So we have to pinch out the growing point on the top to stop the vertical growth of the plant and allow the top sprouts to branch out, if you will. They're actually, these tiny little cabbages are actually branches coming off of the stalk.
Harvest is an interesting one, where workers begin by cutting off the leaves on the stalks, then coming through and cutting the whole stalks off, and then feeding them through the harvester. From there, they are taken to a packing shed where they are washed, sorted, and sized. Some destined for the frozen market and some for the fresh. They process more than 30,000 sprouts an hour, with demand actually seeing an upswing of late.
Our industry was pretty much a frozen food industry for decades, and the fresh market consumption of Brussels sprouts has actually gone up in recent times, and having a lot of these chefs fix them and showing people how to prepare them has really helped us in that end, because a lot of the problem with Brussels sprouts is in how they're prepared. If they're overcooked, they tend to get bitter.
So finally, it seems like the time has come for Brussels sprouts to have their time in the sun, so to speak. After centuries of being denigrated, criticized, and left uneaten, the vegetable is finally seeing a renaissance among chefs, diners, and even kids, all of whom are branching out a little from their regular produce choice and liking what they eat. And along the way, they are doing the unthinkable, saving the sprout, one impassioned plea at a time.
Give Brussels sprouts a try.
Hello, my name is Luke Knox. I'm the executive chef of Burt Room and Tavern here at the Mystic Hotel by Charlie Palmer. We are located downtown San Francisco, right next to Union Square. Today I'm going to demonstrate a staple for Burt Tavern. It is our sourdough pancake. It's a savory pancake, not your traditional pancake with maple syrup. We switch it up seasonally, the garnish that goes with it, whether it's fried Brussels sprouts or nice asparagus or artichokes. So I'd like to just start by demonstrating how we start our sourdough pancake. We do the same process of making a sourdough starter. We take the yeast, it's a dry active yeast, activate it with a nice hot water. And this takes about 15 minutes, so boiling water, a little bit of yeast, cover it, and then we basically just let that sit around for about 15 minutes. It'll basically start fermenting and get all nasty inside. I have one ready to go right here, so as you can see it's already bubbling up, kind of bursting out of my container right here. But this will be basically our starter. This will give it that nice sourdough, kind of what you expect from a nice like San Francisco sourdough bread. Okay, so the next step for our pancake after our yeast is ready to go, we got a nice fluffy yeast mix right here. The next step is to whisk our egg whites. So this egg whites is going to make the pancake nice and fluffy, and this is where the Belgian waffle of the recipe kind of comes in. So we're going to whip the egg whites, nice stiff peak. You can easily use your KitchenAid at home. This, just for the kitchen purposes, it's a little bit faster for us than setting up the whole entire mixer. So our egg whites are whipped. Next step is to move on to the dry ingredients. We want to incorporate all the dry ingredients into a bowl. So we have our AP flour, our baking powder, salt, baking soda, and our sugar. Again, prepping out all this it's really important. When you're at home, when you're trying to stay clean in your house, you may have a small kitchen. This is really the best way to be successful at home. It makes all your cooking processes so much simpler when you have everything prepped out, ready to go. Basically, next step is just to whisk all the nice wet ingredients into our mix. We're gonna fold in, take our little sourdough dry active yeast starter. Just right into our dry ingredients. Our melted butter, delicious. Egg yolks. And our milk, buttermilk. So here we basically just have the makings of a pancake. Okay, so the last and final step of our sourdough pancake is to incorporate the egg whites. So we've whipped them to a firm peak. We're gonna fold it into our mix, and it's really gonna aerate the dough. It's gonna be a nice light, similar to a Belgian waffle. This is kind of how we got the Belgian waffle, the pancake, and the sourdough bread kind of all incorporated into one. We're just gonna lightly add our egg whites in there, and similar to making a souffle, if you've ever made it, when you're folding in the egg whites into your tempered chocolate, you really want to be gentle with it so your egg whites don't break on you, and just gonna fold it in nice right into your batter. Okay, so now that our batter is ready, next important step is to have a nonstick pan, some nice pan spray or clarified butter if you have it. Spray the pan nice, get a nice heat on there, not too hot, you don't want to burn the bottom before you flip it and the other side's not cooked. And then my personal favorite is just kind of wing it. Grab a spoon, any different shape or size is fine with me. Put a couple little different pancakes all around here. You can make it big, you can fill up the whole pan if you want. Okay, so now that we got a little bubble on top, this one I like to flip it. Nice little golden brown on each side. Again, very savory pancake. Not saying it doesn't go well with maple syrup, because it does. Maple syrup or honey, it goes really well. That's it. Okay, so now that we're done with our pancakes, I'd kind of like to show you how we are preparing the pancakes here at Burt Room and Tavern. Again, changes seasonally. You can do it a number of different ways. It could be sweet, it could be savory, it could be seasonal artichokes, could be butternut squash in the wintertime. But right now we're doing it a little fried Brussels sprouts. And I have a little creme fraiche and pickled mustard seeds. And down on the plate here. Put pancakes right on top. Toss a little more dressing right in. Our nice fried Brussels sprouts just came out of the fryer. Just kind of get them seasoned up, and then we'll just take our Brussels sprouts right over the top of our pancakes, just like that. That's it. A little sourdough pancake, fried Brussels sprout, and a little creamy Dijon dressing.
And if you're interested in that recipe, you can find it at our website, californiabountiful.com.
Closed captioning of California Bountiful is provided by Agriculture Liquid Fertilizers. Producing better crops with better fertilizers, it's better for California.
In the nation, what's precious to you is precious to us.
So farm to fork means maybe mixed greens and potatoes right now, and in a month it's going to mean asparagus, and a month after that it'll mean strawberries, and then apricots, and then peaches and nectarines, and then apples and pears will come, and then it'll be time for winter squash.
Hi, my name is John Ledbetter. I work at Boca Nova Restaurant in Jack London Square, Oakland, California. I love cooking with simple ingredients, seasonal ingredients. I like using the right things at the right times, and I like to do 10 ingredients or less, preferably always. What we do in this business is we highlight food, and you can't highlight food unless you're using the best of what you can get. And if you can't do that, you should either try to do it or you should go do something else.
Meet me at 3rd and Fairfax. The property has been on the corner of 3rd and Fairfax in Los Angeles literally since the 1860s. But Farmers Market, when it really began to grow, became a meeting place for everyone in the city, including the Hollywood community. It is to this day the best place in town to spot stars, most of whom are relaxing just like everybody else, but many of whom are actually working because there's a lot of shoot activity on the property. Almost every week there's a crew of some kind shooting here. So it's a great place to both dine and shop, but if you're looking for a Hollywood experience, it's one of the best places in town to do that. Blanche McGee and her husband owned a restaurant downtown in Los Angeles, and they used to drive past this corner every day on their way to work. And in July of 1934, when the first farmers parked trucks on this property, which was vacant land at the time, Blanche knew some of them and thought they might need to eat lunch, so she brought sandwiches for them. And eventually one of the customers for the farmers, someone buying fruit and produce, said, could I buy a sandwich too? And Blanche was reluctant, but she decided to go ahead. And eventually this restaurant came to be, followed quickly by power on the property, water on the property, and tables and chairs all over the place so people could sit and eat. Bob's Donuts is another of the second and third generation shops at Farmers Market. Bob's dad was a butcher here. Bob went off to college. He went to UC Berkeley and got an MBA, and when he returned, his father said, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to open a shop at Farmers Market. We are looking at a small selection of the amazing array of donuts which Bob's Donuts serves. This is the raised glaze, by far the most popular, and most folks believe the best donut in Los Angeles. We then have Patsy D'Amore's Pizza. Patsy's daughter Philomena now runs this shop. It is the shop which literally introduced pizza to Southern California. They built a brick oven in 1940 to start serving pizza to customers here. The brick oven is still there, and it still makes great pizza. So this is McGee's Nuts, the same family that owned McGee's, the first restaurant at Farmers Market. And as you can see, they make peanut butter the way it's supposed to be made. You start with peanuts, you grind them, you come up with peanut butter, and then you take it home and discover what real peanut butter should taste like. They also have almond butter and macadamia butter. It's an extraordinary place which has been very, very popular with people over the years, including President Eisenhower, who stopped by to watch this machine at work and loved it. Vice President Mondale used to write in his orders here, and in the early 60s, a band called the Beatles visited here. When they left, they wrote a handwritten thank you note to McGee's, which Ringo wrote for the group. One of McGee's contributions to American culture is this mixture. Blanche, when she first opened the shop, had some issues with her suppliers and ended up with a small collection of a variety of nuts, but not enough of any one to sell. So she tossed them all into a bowl and put them in a roaster and invented roasted mixed nuts. This is the real roots of Farmers Market. It actually began as a small set of trucks parked on an empty lot where housewives could buy fresh produce from local farmers. We still have, obviously, gorgeous, wonderful fresh produce as well as other groceries, and a lot of restaurants and all sorts of shopping opportunities. It all began with fruits and vegetables. Once Farmers Market became a permanent grocery store, it became clear that folks who would move from shop to shop needed some way to carry all their purchases. So originally, this was a wicker basket, but the wicker didn't hold up terribly well, and so we changed to pine. These are handmade on the property. The color is officially Farmers Market green. And while the idea is that folks will shop at the market, fill their baskets, and then load them into the trunk of their car and drive away, these have been known to wander off the property. And in fact, a couple of years ago, someone wrote to our monthly newsletter, The Bugle, saying, I found one of these on the sidewalk in front of my house in Texas. Do you have any idea what this is? We said we did know, and that's as far as we know one has gotten, but it's an open question. When folks talk about the farmers market's unique character, one of the things they probably have in mind is this glorious display of baked goods, all for dogs. This is Three Dog Bakery, a bakery just for pups, with a nod to cats in the other container. This is pretty much Los Angeles. We care for our dogs deeply and seriously in LA. But here you have a sense of family, of community, of neighborhood, and it's just a very warm place to be. And don't forget, meet me at 3rd and Fairfax.
I even got some flowers at the market. Nice, California grown too, even better, right? Well, stay with us because there's more California Bountiful coming right up.
So farm to fork means maybe mixed greens and potatoes right now, and in a month it's going to mean asparagus, and a month after that it'll mean strawberries, and then apricots, and then peaches and nectarines, and then apples and pears will come, and then it'll be time for winter squash.
Hello, I'm Aaron Schwartz, and I'm the Executive Chef of Marina Kitchen at the San Diego Marriott Marquis and Marina in downtown San Diego. And today we're going to start off with a little beet salad. So what I have here are 2 Chioggia beets that were grown locally here in San Diego. They're from Susie's Farms. And we're going to roast them off in the oven with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, a little thyme, and then wrap them in foil and put them in your oven about 325 till they're tender. It takes about anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes to an hour. So we've already done that ahead of time, and we have a couple types of beets here. We've already peeled them. When they're nice and warm, it's the best time to peel them because the skins come right off, and then we're going to dice them up. We're also going to roast off some hazelnuts for this salad that we've warmed up, and then we put on a little cayenne seasoning to give them a little kick. One thing I recommend for the salad is using different types of beets, so different colors, and adds really nice different shades to when you're making the salad. So once you have them made, it's a really simple thing. Right now in California, it's all about citrus. And then we have 4 types of citrus grown here in San Diego today. So we have little tangerines. We have some these are blood oranges. And with our warm weather, they haven't all set the color like traditionally. Some caracaras. And then some Oro Blanco grapefruit segments. And then to that, what we're gonna mix is a little Muldoon sea salt. A little fresh cracked pepper. A little 50-year sherry vinegar. A little hazelnut oil. And then we're going to give that all a good mix. Seasoning's good, so now we're going to take a little arugula. And here at the restaurant, we prefer to use more of the rocket style arugula than the baby arugula that you find in a store. So if you go to a farmer's market or one of the great farms here in San Diego, you'll be able to find that. And then on top of that, we're gonna put the beet salad. And then we're gonna finish that off with a little bit of the hazelnuts. Here at the restaurant, we like goat cheese, but we felt that aged goat cheese that you shave has a little nicer texture and flavor than just your regular fluffy white goat cheese. So this is a little bit aged shaved goat cheese to finish it off. So there you have it, the Marina Kitchen beet and citrus salad.
farm to fork means maybe mixed greens and potatoes right now, and in a month it's going to mean asparagus, and a month after that it'll mean strawberries, and then apricots, and then peaches and nectarines, and then apples and pears will come, and then it'll be time for winter squash.
Hi, my name is John Ledbetter. I work at Boca Nova Restaurant in Jack London Square, Oakland, California. I love cooking with simple ingredients, seasonal ingredients. I like using the right things at the right times, and I like to do 10 ingredients or less, preferably always. What we do in this business is we highlight food, and you can't highlight food unless you're using the best of what you can get. And if you can't do that, you should either try to do it or you should go do something else.
Well, that's going to do it for the show today. If you have questions about any of the stories you've seen or would like any of the recipes, you can find it all at our website, CaliforniaBountiful.com. And also go to our Facebook site too if you get a second and check out some of the behind-the-scenes photos. I've got my flowers. I think I might do a little sightseeing. I think the cable car's going to go off, so I'm going to go catch it. I'll see you guys later. One more?